Let's start this session then.
Okay.
Hi everyone, and welcome to the LexisNexis Singapore live chat series. We are continuing with a COVID-19 special today, and we are going to talk about the future of lawyering, sustaining small law practice post-COVID-19. So we'll be speaking with Rajan Chettiar on the impact COVID-19 has had on small law practices, the changes to expect in the near future as circuit breaker measures are now slowly being eased off. So what will be the new normal like? What will be the new normal be like for small law practices? How will the legal landscape change? And what are some of the challenges to anticipate and address? So this is a live chat session. So those of you, as mentioned, like if you have any questions, there's actually a Q&A function at the bottom. So you can put your questions in and we'll address it towards the end. So to get started, Rajan, maybe you could give us a brief introduction to yourself, your history, who you are, and your legal practice.
So I will, and firstly, I'd like to thank LexisNexis for this chance to share about my views on this subject. So I've been a lawyer for the last 23 years, and I run my own law firm, Rajan Chettiar LLC, for the last 17 years. Our main specialization is that we are a family law firm, and we focus on out-of-court settlements through mediation, negotiation, and collaborative family practice.
Okay. So Rajan, you have been around for a while, right? In starting off in a large law firm, and then before you set up your own practice. So maybe you could tell us and share with us some of the key differences being in a large law firm versus setting up your own small law practice. Being an entrepreneur, that is definitely not an easy task.
Sure. I spent. I was training in a large law firm, and I spent 6 years in a large law firm until I got very tired and jaded about law practice, which is a very normal thing, for people who spend time in a law firm, in a large law firm. The difference is because it was a very large law firm, so I was just one of the many, and I also felt that there was no great interaction between me and the senior management. And I also felt that there was not very much of a welfare. And this is back then, in the years of the late 90s, Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so where things were quite different. So I just thought, okay, fine, it's time to go and do something else. So I just quit and took a break. And I started my own law firm in April 2003. The main focus why I did that was I always wanted to run my own business. So it was trying to fulfill an entrepreneur bug that I had. And I also wanted to practice family law, a subject that's very close to my heart, and which I enjoy so much in law school. And I want to practice family law in my way, i.e., trying to help people to come to settlements and to work out their divorces without fighting out in court. And it was also in line with my own life mission about helping people and why I became a lawyer. So it's all tying very well together, and that's how my whole journey started 17 years ago.
Okay. Yeah, that's really a lot of experience that you have out there from the both side of spectrum. So now, as we all know, COVID-19 has had impact on businesses and economy. We would like to find out your thoughts on how has COVID-19 impacted law practices, especially small law firms.
I think it's very important to note that COVID-19 has impacted the whole legal profession, not just small law firms. I think my friends in the mid-sized and large firms have the same issues like I do. So it's nothing very special for small law firms. I think it's impacted the whole industry.
Yes.
So I think what happened really that shook us all up was on April the 4th, I think, where the government made an announcement that there will be a circuit breaker will be implemented and we all have to work from home. And also it was very shocking, I think, for a lot of us to realize that legal services was not considered as an essential kind of service. So hence, it really, I think that was a very hard weekend and a weekend in history that we all will remember, I think, where we were trying to scramble, trying to get our IT systems to work, and how are we going to bring our files and work, how are we going to manage the law practice, the law firm, and we had to do that from home. And I think we technically had 3 days to do that, Saturday to Monday.
For the weekend.
So that was really, really hard, I think. I think for my firm, I think we were quite fortunate because we were already ran the law firm from a co-working space for the last 1.5 years. We had already gone on a paperless system for about 3 years by then. So we had really, we were quite a full legal technology firm in terms of law practice. So, and we were already doing the work from home when we had to do the BCP, the business continuity plans, in late of February. So it was very easy for us to just go back home and plug on and to start work from 7th of April, which is what we did. Yeah. So I think since then things have become more stable for a lot of us, and now we're in phase
Definitely.
two. Think things are much better. Yeah.
Mm. Okay, yeah, so it's really true, like, maybe only in tough times like this that you actually reap the benefits of getting out of your comfort zone in the first place, right? Because I mean, I guess work from home is still a very new concept to everyone, not
Yeah.
you guys. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's more obvious now in such times that, we can tell that
Yeah.
the benefits are there.
Yeah.
So maybe then we would also like to find out then, how did COVID-19 impacted the family law practice?
I think it did impact family law practice a lot because people had to stay at home. Clients and people going through problems in the marriage had to stay at home 24/7, face each other. I think it was very, very tough. There were cases of family violence because you had no chance to get out of the house. There was some of my clients had child access problems. Some of them had paid cards and they couldn't pay maintenance. So I think it was very hard. This is for my existing clients. Then I had a lot of calls from new clients or potential clients, and I remember this case very vividly. And I just want to share very briefly. This was a lady who called me. She was going through a very hard time in her marriage. Things were really going downhill. It was already bad prior to the circuit breaker, and once circuit breaker was implemented, she just couldn't function at home at all. So there was a child at home. There was the husband was at home, and I remember she calling me from one corner of her bedroom, and she was really talking very softly and trying to share with me and trying to get some kind of advice how she can solve her problems that she was
Wow.
facing. So we were talking about it, and then the child came to her, and I could hear all that, right? So the child came to her and wanted her attention, and I could hear her husband in the living room, probably also speaking to somebody or maybe trying to work from home. So it was very surreal. And then she told me, I really have to go, and my child needs me. Yeah, and I keep on thinking about that phone call. I know, and I received many calls, right? So I was thinking, this phone call is very etched in my mind, and I think it will be for a very long time because it was a really tough time that she was going through. It was really a cry for help, call for help, but she couldn't do anything. She couldn't take steps because she was stuck at home. And I think that's the challenge that many people faced. They had problems. They needed to talk to a lawyer, get some advice, get some quick answers to some of the questions, but they couldn't do it because they're at home. Yeah, so I think for clients was very, very hard, manage. And I think there's also the mental health issues that a lot of them were going
Yes.
through.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then for lawyers, I think it was okay. I mean, I can only speak for myself. I think it was okay. I was able to still take care of my existing clients and to manage the calls from the new clients and to deal with them. I think during that time, I did have new cases, a fair number of new cases that came to me during that period. But I think I was primarily there to help people to answer questions and to help them through. Yeah, but they were not in the state to make decisions, and life was really very hard. I mean, we don't hear about it very much. We only hear about family violence and maintenance and excess, but we don't hear about the a lot of anguish that men and women have gone through.
Yeah, the mental stress they actually have
Yeah,
to go through during this period. I mean, it's something, I guess, is not easy for people to share and open up.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, as maybe it'll be easier for them to speak to their lawyers about it because it's
Correct. Yeah. But you
yeah,
see,
more
the thing
objective.
that we need to note is that they couldn't even do it because they were stuck at home and they couldn't leave the
Yeah,
house
yeah, yeah, that's
anymore.
right. Okay, so but on your side, like in your team, there's actually it seems like you guys didn't face so much trouble or any issues like speaking to your clients during this period.
No, we did not. We made it very clear to the existing clients that it's business per normal. The only thing we couldn't do was to go to court for hearings because most hearings were not considered as urgent and essential. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
But it was business as per normal, and we did serve our clients. I think we have a bit more time to deal with things we didn't need to rush. But we're also very weary that come June there will be a lot of rush. And true enough, in June it is a very busy June.
Yeah. So then, since we are, I mean, we're on the topic of family law, right? There seems to be more domestic violence than divorce cases happening in Singapore during the circuit breaker period. Is that true?
Uh, there were there were okay, the kind of inquiries I got, and this is really from the new clients or the callers. I think they didn't have much of family violence, but I think emotionally and mentally it was very hard to live together in the same house. But I think there's also a good part to it. I also had a lot of clients who came to me and said, "Look here, we just want you to help us to file the paperwork to get an uncontested divorce because
Mm.
we've already come to an agreement." So it was very interesting how people were able to come to an agreement and have uncontested or consensual kind of divorces in that period of the circuit breaker, which then means, for some people, it didn't work out, they had a lot of problems, but for some people, it gave them a chance to sit down and talk to their spouses and work out settlements so they don't need to go to court and fight it out in court. So there was also a blessing for many people, I think. And the files that I opened in April during a circuit breaker, or even in May to some extent, were those kind of files, uncontested cases where people have done all the work and they only needed me to get them the divorce done through the paperwork.
Do you actually get more inquiries on divorce cases now than before COVID?
In April and May, there was a very healthy number of phone calls. There were more of inquiries, and in June as well. Yeah, but I think right now we are in phase two, right? Where people go out and people work. So I
Mhm.
would think that what was the important period was people were when we were at home, which is the circuit breaker time frame. And that time frame, I remember there were a lot of calls, a lot of emails, and also I think that was because not only people were facing problems at home, but also this was a good chance to sit back and to sort of try and take charge and spend some time to solve some of their problems. And to take it a bit further, I also had a lot of calls for people who want to make deals. Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, so that means that people have more time, right, to go and think
Think
about
about the
their
future
personal
during
life. Yeah.
pandemic.
So the point to note is that there's a bad side to the circuit breaker. There's also a good side to it.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Oh, okay, that's really interesting to know. Also, you mentioned that there's no disruptions to your law practice during this period, circuit breaker period, right?
Mhm.
The courts, your clients, and their expectations. Would you say the same for them?
Yes, I think people sort of knew that, okay, fine, this is the way things are being run in Singapore, and that they also were well aware of that there will be no hearings but for urgent and essential matters, which technically is for personal protection and for maintenance. That those were being filed and heard, I think. Yeah, but if not, there was no hearings. The clients knew about that. We also told them right on the beginning on the 7th of April, hey, look here, this is what's going to go on. This is how the next month or so is going to be like. So, be very clear that whatever is scheduled, and we have quite a lot scheduled in terms of hearings and trials in the month of April and May, and they were told that that was not going to go on, and they were fine with that. Yeah, no one sort of picked up a big fuss about it. Yeah.
So you guys, I mean, you guys use like Zoom and all that as well.
Yes, for in terms of working with our clients, we started doing Zoom. We started doing Zoom prior to the circuit breaker. We started in March, I think. Yeah, so yes, we use Zoom, and we did all our client meetings all via Zoom. Even with the new callers, I did try to get them to use Zoom or the WhatsApp video call because family law is a very personal kind of
Yeah,
practice. You need to look at each other. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. It'll be much better that way as well.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Then maybe if would you be able to share some of your challenges of operating remotely, like the pros and cons, especially like what you face in a small law firm?
I think the challenges, I mean, thankfully, there were so few challenges. I think the challenges was the
Oh,
fact that there was no fine line between work and home. I think my team and I
mm-mm.
probably put in a lot more hours than we would have done if we had gone to work and come back home. I personally thought that my days were very blurred and I spent a lot of time at work. Yeah.
Mm,
So that was the thing. There was no clear kind of distinction between
mm,
work and home. Yeah. So that was a challenge. If not, I think technology did help us a lot. We were able to run the firm. I mean, we are still doing it via from home now, so we will still do it very well. But whatever we do in life is not perfect. Yeah. So work from home is not perfect. We
Yeah.
have to acknowledge. I mean, I'm a great supporter of work from home. I talk about it. I write about it. Yeah, but there are disadvantages, and the disadvantages are the fact that if you need something, you have to WhatsApp your team member or you have to call. Yeah. So that's one more layer of thing, a layer of communication that I didn't have to do when I'm doing the firm.
Mhm.
And second thing that I was very concerned about is the welfare, the mental welfare of my team. I have a team of about
Yes.
6 people, the lawyers and the staff. So I was very concerned about their welfare, and I was also very wary of the fact that there's no more personal touch. We are all very detached. We work from our homes, so we technically have rent our own offices in 6 or 7 homes. So there was no personal touch, and I was very concerned about the detachment. We
Yeah.
usually meet as a firm each Wednesday. During lunch, we will meet and talk about things. This was even way prior to COVID. So we continue on doing that in via Zoom on each Wednesday. And one of the things I always check in to see is, hey, how are you doing? What's going on with your life? How are things at home? And how are you managing and coping? Yeah. So that's something that I make sure that I do that a lot. I may not do that when I see them face to face, but now I think there's more of that non-work related chat. If you call that. We also find time to Zoom and do social calls.
Mm.
Like the rest of Singapore, we have we eat together in the Zoom. We drink together via Zoom, and we connect. So I usually will have check-ins with my lawyers in a Zoom call or on a Friday night, and I also will check in with my backend staff. So a lot of these things which I didn't need to do when it was face to face, now I do it. I think it's very
Yeah.
important. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, firstly, it's like TGI, so it's like something to celebrate.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
And I mean, because you guys are in a small law firm, then I guess it's a more close knitted family.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably nowadays people might appreciate this kind of work environment more.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
we are a very close team. So, and I was very worried that we are going to lose the closeness when we had to work from home.
Okay. Yeah. So, with that being said, what sort of changes do you expect to see in law firms after COVID-19?
I hope to see some of these changes. Firstly, I hope that the working from home will turn into a culture. Because the fact that I'm a great supporter of work from home, I think it's important that we have time for our personal life, we have time for our families and work. And I think work from home will create a kind of environment. And I do have young lawyers, and I know the young lawyers of today or young people of today, they don't want to come to work and work 9 to 6. They're probably very more inspired at night. They're probably very more inspired to work at 2 in the morning. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if I tie them to 9 to 6, maybe they are not productive. So
Yeah.
work from home will give them the chance to uh, to do all that. You see, and I felt that could be, something that I will want to create, and that's one of my dreams that I had, that we should move away from a traditional law firm and really work from home. So that I think there'll be more of that. I think people will realize that, hey, look, not everybody needs to go to work. Some people can work from home. So when that happens, I think the space for your firm, the commercial space, I think that will shrink.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean we have shrunk already, even in a co-working space in the last 1 month. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so that will shrink. And thirdly, I really hope the courts will continue on doing these video hearings and telephone calls. Right now in the family justice courts, mediations and all hearings are done via Zoom, and
Yeah.
these conferences are done by phone call. Yeah, so they started doing this in March, if I'm not wrong. So I really hope they will continue on doing that, because it is really efficient. It will save time to travel and commute and wait in court. And what will that translate to a client? I think it will translate to the client of, his his fees will be, I think, will be lower.
Yeah.
So there's cost savings for the client, and it's very efficient and resourceful. I've done quite a few Zoom hearings since May, and I think that it's going on very, very well. I also done hearings and mediations, yeah, and case conferences on the phone. No hitches, no problems, and the technology works very well.
Okay. Yeah, that's really good to hear because I mean everybody at the end of the day just want to save time and do things in a more efficient.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. Because I mean this is not I think this is not the first time we have heard this part as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
So okay. I guess really nobody expected to work so well remotely at home during this period. So maybe you still need an office space but maybe just smaller because maybe some of them really cannot work from home. They need an office
Yeah. Yes.
area, yeah, or
Yeah.
maybe for some
Yeah.
admin work and all
Correct.
that. Yeah. Okay.
I do not think that we will give up our spaces in our in the commercial buildings totally.
Yeah.
We will
Yeah.
need a place to go to. We have still kept a place to go back to. And you are right. I have a French lawyer who is a foreign lawyer in my firm, and she told me very frankly, Rajan, I'm more Jewish when I go to work. Yeah. So she found it very hard. So you're right. It's not for all. I have a trainee who's training with me, a legal trainee, and legal training in this season is so difficult and tells me she finds it really hard, but we have no choice. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it's just more of like getting used to it and being more adaptable
Yeah.
in this pandemic. So, moving forward, what sort of new legal needs do you foresee arising in the new normal after COVID-19? And what should smaller firms do to address them?
We all talk about this new normal, and I was just saying to somebody, I don't know what new normal means, but anyway, that's a discussion by itself.
Yeah.
I think it will take us a while to go back to where we were in January. Yeah, 2020, where life was normal. I think that will be different. So I think video hearings and all that will still have to go on. And I think the way legal services are going to be conducted is going to be quite so different. Um, I just think that we have to change. So there has to be a mindset change, and the fact that we may not go to court as much as we want to. That could be the new normal. Seeing clients and all that. Now that clients are so used to doing it on the WhatsApp calls and on the Zoom calls, I think they may not want to do a face to face. Yeah, because face to face for family law clients means they must take time from work, or lunch break. They may not be able to do in the evenings because they have to go back home to their families. Yeah, so I think WhatsApp calls and Zoom calls that will be the way it will be. I think business-wise there'll be an impact. I think people are losing jobs or having pay cuts. I already have few clients in the last 2 months who have pay cuts. Yeah, so I think in terms of providing, paying for legal services, that's going to be hard. I think so. We have to manage and come up with various ways of offering legal services, bearing in mind that number one, the number of new cases that we are going to have is going to drop, and two is how are you going to charge your clients, and yet you will have to provide the same kind of legal services. So the way law practice is going to be done, I think that's going to go through a lot of change. I think it's important to look at new new ways of doing things, and of practicing law or helping clients. But at the same time, being very wary. Let's not go into a price war or try to cut down our legal fees. That's really going to It does not mean that if I cut down my legal fees, it's going to mean I'm going to have a lot of work. Because the price war between the law firms, I think that shouldn't happen. And at the same time, we have to maintain reasonable legal fees for the clients, because once this season is over, how are you going to go back and increase your fees? So you have to bear in mind that this is just a season. But the government says it could be a year, but given that it's not forever, you see. So we have to be very careful in terms of pricing of our legal services. Yeah, because if we go on a price war, we're just going to hurt each other and the profession.
It's not going to be beneficial to anyone, like especially to the law industry.
Yeah.
On the future of lawyering, we would like to hear from you. Like, how should law firms stay more competitive and sustainable in such times? What will be your advice or tips?
I think I should only speak for small law firms since I'm a small law firm owner, because I think mid-sized law firms and large law firms, their challenges are quite different. I think we have to move on with the times. We have to find ways and means that will be efficient, cost effective. Yeah, we may have to revisit the idea of, do we need 1,500 square feet a space to work from? Is it possible maybe some of the lawyers could work from home? Yeah. Or could we come up with a flexible kind of arrangement? So if you do that, you do not need such a huge workspace. So that can be cut down. Two, I think legal technology is so important. I mean, the court as well as law society has been talking about it so much. I think COVID has taught us how important legal technology is. So I think we have to invest on legal technology. Uh,
Mm.
and I would say this: it is not very expensive. There are many softwares and systems are really meant for small law firms. We use some of them, so they are very well priced. They are not very expensive. People think it's very expensive. It's not. Is it very tough to be to embrace technology? I'm a dinosaur. I really, I just know
Don't
the
say
basic.
that.
Yeah, I really know the basic things. So if and for me to learn a lot of things, and I'm forced to learn a lot of things, that's basic things that you probably know. I had to learn it now more so because I don't have my staff next to me to go and check.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think we need to learn some of these legal technology and stuff like that. And it's
Yeah,
hard.
well,
I totally know how hard it is. Yeah, but it can be done. So that's something else I think we have to embrace. And I think as business owners, small law firm business owners, I think we need to look at our staff and we need to ask ourselves, how much do I trust my staff? I think trust is so important in this season because they're going to be working from home or doing a lot of things and you may not be around. You need to trust them. Yeah. I think the
mm,
reason why work from home works so well for us in our firm is because I've got a great team and I trust every one of them. I don't even have a question about what they're doing right now. Yeah. The gauge is not by the emails they send me or the WhatsApp they send me. They could be
mm,
very quiet, but that's because they are really looking at stuff, at documents and files. Yeah. So I
mm.
think I think one of the trust is so important. I think we have
Yeah, I think the
to
trust.
trust our staff. If if we don't have trust or the staff didn't earn our trust, then I think all these changes are going to be very hard. I'll
Yeah.
just share very quickly. Even the paperless journey that I went into 3 years ago, it took me 1 year to get a buy-in from my staff. Yeah, because they were so shocked that I wanted to do away with files and bundles. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you need a lot of buying, you need a lot of support from the staff to make all these changes work.
Okay. Okay. Now I think we are almost out
Yeah,
of.
the time is going by. Yeah.
Yes, that's very fast. We have a
Yeah.
few questions here. Yep. So maybe we can take a few.
Sure.
Rajan, you able to see the questions?
Yes, I can see them.
So the
Uh,
first
yeah.
one. Okay. So how would you? The question is, how would you like to see technology drive further improvement for legal practice during this pandemic?
Um, I think I sort of dealt with that. I think technology is going to play a very, very big part. I think we have seen it in the last 2 months. So
Mm,
it is going to be. I think the major crux of law firm management and law practice is going to be technology. So I think we need to really pay attention and see what can we do, what is suitable for us in terms of that. So it's going to play a very big part. I do not even know. I mean, right now, whatever we are using right now is the way to go. So I keep on thinking to myself, what else can we do? What else can we improve on? And my legal technology partners keep on telling me, "Hey, Rajan, you've done enough, so just relax." Yeah. So
yeah.
it's a very big drive. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. We can take on another question. How about this? Hi Rajan, if you use WhatsApp in your communication with your clients, do you still write letters to your clients to confirm their instructions if your clients gave you instructions via WhatsApp?
I think that's a great question, Kim Song.
Yeah.
And this was something that we talked about at our firm meeting just now. Because now we do not know because our attendance notes were scanned and put into our practice management system, and right now the scanning can't happen. Yeah, so we were just talking
Mhm.
about it. So I usually what we do, and it's something that we have to do more. I think is that we usually write an email to the client and say, hey, look here, we spoke on WhatsApp, and this is
Mm,
what we discussed. So there will
okay.
be a summary of the main points that we discussed, and then we also will say, okay, from now, this is the next thing that we are going to do. So there will be a record. I wouldn't just go
Mm,
by only on the WhatsApp.
mm-hmm.
Although I am, if I may say so, careful and I do store and save up my WhatsApps, you know, and more so with clients, but it goes down in writing. Yeah, it will have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just safe, you know, you have it in black and
Yeah,
white.
correct.
Yeah, but
Because
like that's
because
me,
yeah
you know.
because sorry, because WhatsApp is a technology, and
Yeah.
WhatsApp, I don't know whether you realize this, but it's so easy to misinterpret what people write on WhatsApp.
Yes, it is. Yeah, because you may miss a punctuation or whatnot, and you can
Yeah.
actually a different thing. Yeah, but do you then actually write letters still to your clients? Like,
I do want to talk about that. I have never been a great supporter of writing letters
hard copy.
to clients or even to opposing counsels. I
Mm,
think this circuit breaker and these phases has also made law firms email each other.
mm,
So we do it all of it with our clients via email, and this has been even pre-COVID. It was like that. And during COVID, we also wrote to law firms via email. You know, we'll just do our letter scanning and then send it out via email. And
mm.
I hope that will also keep on going. I hope we don't go back to faxes again. Yeah, because it's faster to just write a letter and send it by email. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I think one more question.
Yeah.
What are your views on law firms transitioning to a dominantly work from home model to reduce their office size, to reduce rental costs? Is this something you embrace? I think this is quite similar to what you have touched on earlier on during the conversation.
Yeah. What are you, if I could just have a quick look at it and see whether I got anything more to say. Um, Yeah, I had talked about it. I think you would have heard for the last 20 minutes or 30 minutes that how I'm a great fan of that. We are planning to do this permanently. Yeah, so now we're just trying out and see how it's going to go. Yeah, I think for many reasons, not just only to cut down on rental. I think work from home or rather to really work will be the way to go, I think. Yeah.
Okay. I
Can
think,
I deal with the one that have you encountered a
yeah.
digital divide? That's
Oh,
very interesting one.
okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
So the question
yeah.
is, have you encountered a digital divide with some of your clients being less tech savvy? What are some of the considerations lawyers need to have in supporting this segment of the population?
Thankfully, we don't have a digital divide because our clients are professionals, so they are quite technologically savvy, much more
Mm-hmm.
savvy than me sometimes. With what they send me, I don't know how to open. Anyway, but I think there always will be people. There will be men and women who will not be savvy, and I think for them we will still have some of them can't even do WhatsApp or email. So the one we will still have to go back to phone calls, meeting them in
Yeah.
live, sending them a letter, not an email. Yeah, that has to go on. But I think that proportion of people will be really very very small. I think. Yeah.
I think just one last one, since it's a continuation from the WhatsApp conversation that we just had. Is WhatsApp transactions covered by the Electronic Transactional Act?
Okay. I'll just say very simply that I don't have an answer to that. But WhatsApp is not a transaction. It's just a method of a communication. We don't transact anything via WhatsApp.
Mm,
And the fallback is that it all has to be in writing by email.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Cool. I
Good.
think that covers it as well. And for now, we've answered all the questions.
Yes, we have.
If you guys have any other questions, there'll be an email going out after this live chat session with the recording of the session. So if you would like to share, there's also a YouTube link that you can share. So if there's any more questions, you guys can write into that email that you received.
Would you mind if we deal with Rare Reynolds' last question?
Oh, there's one more. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
sorry, I missed it.
Uh,
Okay, so one last question. What about
so
life
yeah.
balance for lawyers who work from home? Do you see overworking as a possible result given that the divide between work and home becomes a bit more blurred?
All the time. All
I
the
agree.
time. All the
I
time.
agree.
You know, and I do know rare Reynolds. So I'm going to just give a very frank kind of answer. One of the things that's really eating into me, and I'll be very, very frank about it from last week is, gosh, I don't have a life. Yeah, so it's very difficult. I really don't know. I cannot turn off my laptop at 6 o'clock. Yeah,
Yeah.
or even at night. And I think I'm not the only one. I think many people are there because I get emails at 9, 10 o'clock at night from lawyers. I think that's going to be very difficult. I think, okay, I mean, the line that I talked about, work and home, that's really very, very hard. I think we will have to, tell ourselves that, okay, on some days, or, this is not good. I'm just going to draw a line. Yeah. It is very good to turn off your laptop, I realize, and to keep it away, far away from you,
Yeah.
so that you don't see it.
I think you need to have
And
maybe like a
yeah,
divide, from your
correct.
work
Yeah,
and rest area.
yeah.
Probably that would
Personally,
help.
personally, what I've done is that I do not work on Wednesday night, because that's my date night with my wife, so I don't work on Wednesday night. And I always make a
Yeah.
point, so no matter what, I always make a point
Yeah.
not to work on weekends. It's terrible, I
Yeah.
tell you, because I pay a very big price on Monday. I do, but
Oh,
yeah,
right.
but you have to, right? Because if you don't, it's crazy. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I don't have perfect kind of solutions, but I think there has to be a line, and I think it works for each one of us.
Mm.
Yeah, but for me, it's really the only distinction that I've drawn is only on Wednesday nights and on weekends. And I'll
Yeah.
tell you, it's not enough. It's not enough.
That's true. It's just once a week. Like
No, it's not enough.
once a
Yeah,
weeknight off. I don't think
yeah,
that's enough.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We do not have any more questions coming on. So thank you everyone for tuning in, and thank you so much, Rajan, for
Thank you.
taking part in this live chat session. So I think that will be all, and enjoy your date night tonight. Today is Wednesday.
Thank you very
So
much.
tonight
Thank you.
you won't be working late.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
probably not. Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully not. Please don't.
Thank you very
Yeah.
much, and again, thanks so much for LexisNexis. Yeah,
Thank you so much,
for this
Rajan.
chat.
Thank you,
Thank you.
everyone.
Thank you. Bye
Thank
bye.
you. Okay. Bye bye.
Bye bye.